Yo, I'm Jason from Ingested, and we have a brand new album called The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams, which is out April the 4th through Metal Blade Records.
Beautiful. Jason, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Pleasure to have you, mate. So you mentioned your new album, The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams, which comes out in April, mate. So how are you feeling about it? Like, it's still a fair way off. Like, do you allow yourself to get excited, or are you just anxious for it to get out there?
A bit of both, really. Like, we've been sitting on this album, since well over a year now. So this album's been done for well over a year. We released our last album, Ashes Lie Still, in November 2022. And then 4 weeks after that album was released in December 2022, we went into the studio and recorded The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams. So
Jesus.
we've had this album done and dusted for like well over a year. Um, but the way the way that we like to work is we like to work ahead. So because we're always writing. So when an album's done, it's done. Let's just get in there, get in the studio, get it recorded. And then what we're doing then is we're giving ourselves time to really prepare for the announcement and the release of the album. So we've had like a year to make sure the artwork looks amazing, to make sure the music videos are all looking great. So yeah, like that's kind of how we like to work, because we'd rather give ourselves the time to make sure everything's exactly how we want it to be for the presentation of the album. So then when it does finally get announced and people know that it's coming, everything's ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're not like rushing around or running around
Yeah.
like headless chickens. Everything's done. So yeah, I'm just excited to finally announce to everyone that it exists and that it's coming out, and you don't have to wait that long. Do you know what I mean? But in the meantime, we've just released the first single, Paragon of Purity, with a music video on our Ingested TV YouTube channel. Um, that's doing really well. All our fans seem to love it, which is great. And then we've got more. We've got more coming out in the run up to the album's release, and probably beyond the album's release as well. We got loads of stuff coming, so it's
Good.
exciting. We've just announced a headline tour through the UK and Europe, which runs through April and May.
Mhm.
We're taking out Fallujah, Vulvodynia. Awesome. So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be another and yet another very busy year for us, because we don't stop. We never stop. We're always working our bollocks off. So, but that's how we like it, though. Do you know what I mean? Like to stay busy. So yeah, I'm just excited for the year, for everything that's to come.
Very good. Now, I normally don't ask this question, mate, because to me it's just cliche and it's a question that people with no imagination ask generally. But I've got to ask you about the title, mate. Like The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams. It's both brightening and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point. And I think that's the whole point of the album. If you look at the album artwork as well, it's frightening and beautiful. Like it's that juxtaposition. Um, Sean came up with the title for the album. It's actually a lyric in one of the songs on the lyrics that he wrote, and we all loved it. Loved the line so much that we were just like, "That's it. That's the title. That's the title of the album." I mean, what Sean's meaning behind it is, I'm not sure. It I don't know what his personal meaning is. We don't really discuss those sort of things, if you know what I mean. But what my take from it is, what the album title means to me is, with our last album, Ashes Lie Still, that album was born of a very dark period for us as a band, and in our personal lives, we were all dealing with a lot of demons like depression and various addictions, whether it's drugs or alcohol, and loss as well. Sean was dealing with the loss of his father through that period. So we were all in a pretty bad spot, really, which is why that album is the way that it is. Like it's a very dark album. Like the themes of it, the feel of that album is very morose, if you know what I mean. Because for us, that album was getting it off our chest, like what we were going through at the time. Whereas this album, The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams, this is us coming out the other end of that period. Like better, bigger, stronger, better than we've ever been before, happy in ourselves as people. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is us like coming full force now. So whereas Ashes Lie still was like I said, it was like therapy. It was like cathartic, you know, getting all that shit off our chests and getting it out there and putting all our feelings into music. Whereas this is us coming for blood. We're coming to collect heads. Like that the purpose of this album is to tear your fucking head off your shoulders. That's what this is. Like, so this is the tide of death. It's washing away all the fractured dreams that we had. And now we're coming. This is a tsunami of death metal that's just going to annihilate everything that's in its path. That's the way I see it. That's what it means to me.
I'm with you, brother. I'm not even going to argue with that sort of statement. So can you take us inside the album a bit more from a musical point of view and what you were going for with it?
Yeah. Well, we were just like I said, we've come out at the end of that shit period with a different energy, with like a renewed vigor, if you know what I mean. Like, so now this is like straight up masterclass of modern death metal. That's what this is about. The intent behind this album is completely different from the previous one. So like I said, it's a musical buzzsaw. It's a musical power drill that's just going to smash you to pieces. Yeah, we're just the energy when we were writing the album and the energy when we were recording it is just night and day from the last one.
Right.
This is us back as Ingested with that big old fucking chip on our shoulder, with that point to prove that we always had. Three guys from fucking working class council estate backgrounds who don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. That are just going to do things on their terms, do things their way, like we always fucking have. And now we feel like whatever weights and shackles were holding us down, whether that be in the band or in our personal lives, those weights and shackles have gone. There's no chains holding us down anymore. So now it's just a whirlwind. Like it's just a frenzied whirlwind. And we're just coming, like I said, we're just coming for blood. This is a brutal album, and that is the point of it. The point of it is to be a brutal death metal album.
Fuck yes.
Now we get to unleash it on the world and then go and play these fucking songs all over the fucking globe and smash people's fucking heads in.
And you're happy about that. It's fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah, I'm fucking happy about that. Look, this is the reason why I'm in a metal band. I didn't get into a metal band to appease people or oh we have to make music. This is what the fans want, or this is what these people want. Oh no, nah, we're in a band because we want to make music that we want to listen to. We do this for us. And if our fans love it, that's amazing. And I can't thank our fans enough. But first and foremost, we do this for us because we love the game. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be in a metal band because I don't want to follow the rules. I want to go around raising hell. Do you know what I mean? I want to go around kicking everybody's fucking ass like a fucking death metal Stone Cold Steve Austin. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I mean though? That's why I want to be in a metal band. If not, I'd go and get a job in an office and put a suit and a tie on and sit behind a fucking computer screen all day. But that's not what I want. I want to go out, I want to break the rules, I want to fucking just tear shit up. So that's what this is about. This is about us just doing things on our terms with a big fucking chip on our shoulder and saying fuck you to everybody who doubts us.
Damn straight, my friend. And you also featured guest vocalist Mark Hunter from Chimera on the track In Nothingness, and there's Josh Middleton from Silosis on Expect to Fail. So tell us about those songs and what each of them brought to it.
Well, with Expect to Fail, with Josh, we've known Josh for years. Because obviously Silosis and Ingested came up through the same UK scene around the same time. So we've known Josh for years. So we've always wanted him on a track, but the way that we do guest vocals is we always have an idea of the people that we want, but we're not just gonna get them on any old song just to get them on a song. The song has to be right. Because my view on guest vocals is the song and the guest vocalist both have to complement and elevate each other.
Yeah,
it has to work. It has to make sense. And the way that we do guest vocals is, well, one of my pet hates at the moment in this scene is bands that get a guest vocalist and they just whack them on a 15, 20 second segment at the end of a song.
just to say they had
What's
them
the
there.
fucking point? Yeah, it's just clout chasing. It's just clout chasing. You're just doing it so you can say that you've got Mr. fucking X, Y, or Z on your song for whatever. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you're doing nothing. It does nothing for the song. What's the point in having them there? It's stupid. Like it's just so obvious to me. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's fine if that's the way that you want to go. It's your fucking band. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, do you know what I mean? But for me, it's like that's just not the way that we do things. Like, everything has to make sense. And if we have a guest vocalist, they're going to be on the whole fucking song.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like it only seems to be metal or death metal or deathcore that this like 15-20 second appearance at slapped on a fucking breakdown at the end of the song like seems to be a thing. If you look in the fucking pop charts or whatever, or fucking hip hop or any other fucking genre of music, when artists collaborate, that isn't a thing. They're on the whole fucking song.
Yeah.
It's not like a fucking Beyonce song and then Shakira turns up for a fucking breakdown at the end for 10 seconds and then fucks off. Do you know what I mean? It's like it has to make sense. It's got to be a song. Like, it's got to make sense for the song or otherwise. It's just bullshit. So the way that we do it is the song has to be right and it has to make sense. So we wanted Josh for ages to do a song with us, but the song just never happened, if you know what I mean. Like that, the song that we were like, that's the one, like never happened until Expect to Fail.
Right.
And we were like, this is the fucking one. This is the fucking one. Like, Josh would sound fucking amazing on this. So we sent him the song and just said like, look, we think this song you'd sound amazing on. Would you be up for it? And he was like, absolutely, like absolutely. So the same night, a couple of hours later, he sent us the song back and he'd done it.
Wow.
And we were like, fucking hell, he's nailed it. Like, he's nailed it. He's fucking smashed it out of the park. So I really love that song. I think it's great. Mark Hunter from Chimera was a little bit different. Chimera has always been a really important band for me and Sean. For us growing up, like The Impossibility of Reason is like a really important album. Like, for us, it's like top 5 metal albums of all time. It's such a perfect record. And obviously he's like a massive influence on me as a vocalist. So he's always kind of been like a bucket list. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh God, I'd love to get Mark Hunter on on a song, that would be absolutely amazing. But it was one of them ones where it's like we don't know them or have like a personal connection with them or anything. So that for us is always, we don't really ask people unless we know them.
Yeah, I can
So like
understand
we
that.
always thought, oh, it's just going to be one that'll never happen. Like, do you know what I mean? It was just kind of like one of them pipe dream sort of things. But then out of the blue, when we were in the studio recording, Sean was on like Twitter, and he's like, "Fucking hell, oh my god!" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Mark Hunter's just fucking tweeted about us or retweeted or reply." I don't know how Twitter works. I don't have
Yeah.
Twitter, so like it said something about us on Twitter in some form, and I'm like, "What? What the fuck?" Like, so Sean messages him and says like, "Oh, Mark, thanks for the kind words. Like, honestly, like that really means a lot to us. Like, we're massive fans, so that's like that's a really big deal for us. Like, do you know what I mean?" And then he replied and he said, "Oh, no worries, love the band." Like, and we were just like, "What the fuck?"
Wow.
And then a couple of days later, I finished recording the vocals for In Nothingness, and we're sitting in the studio and we're like listening back to the track and listening to it over and over again. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, something, something, something missing. There's something missing. Like I can't put my finger on what it is. Something's missing. And then I'm listening to it and listening to it and listening to it, and then it gets to the chorus, to the hook bit, and in my head, I could like hear Mark Hunter singing it,
Wow.
because it's like with that, like his clean sort, his
Yeah.
chimera, like singing. And I was like, then I turned to Sean, I'm like, Mark Hunter would sound fucking well good on this, yeah. You've asked him, and then Sean's like, should I just ask him then? And we're like, well, what's the worst he can say? No.
True.
Like, do you know what I mean? We've got like a contact to him now. You've had a chat with him, so it's not like we're just asking him out of the blue. Like you've already spoke to him a bit. Like, so just ask him. He'll either say yeah or he'll say no. And then if he says no, we'll figure something out. Like, do you know what I mean? So Sean asked him, he said, like, look, we're in the studio right now. We've got a song that we think you would really shine on, like it would really work with your voice. Would you be up for like appearing on the song? And he was like, fuck yeah, send me the song. And we were just like,
Wow.
oh my God. So we sent him the song a couple of days later. He sent it back and we were just like, holy shit. Like, because it's like you grow up listening to this band and then you hear his voice on your song and you're just like, what? So yeah, that was fucking amazing. Like it was amazing. Like blown away. So yeah, that's how those came about. Like the Josh one, like we knew it was always going to happen. It was just a matter of time and finding the right song. But with Mark Hunter from Chimera, that was a little bit more outside the box and like a
Fuck
bit
yeah.
of a weird coincidence, if you know what I mean. So
Oh, congratulations, mate. That's a nice story.
thanks.
Now, we touched on this before, but Ingested have released an album roughly every 12 months since 2020's Only God May Tread. Like, but by doing that, have you found that the band's got a lot tighter and you're going in different directions musically, I guess, because you're writing and recording so much?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing with us is because, like I said earlier, we write music for ourselves first and foremost. We're always writing music for ourselves, so we're writing exactly what we want to hear. Um, but with that, we we're always moving in a direction. We're always moving. It doesn't matter what direction that is. As long as it's like moving, we'll never get bored. Because that's the thing. Because we always say like, when we get bored of this, it's done.
Mm.
We're never gonna phone it in. We're never gonna just do it just because. Do you know what I mean? We do it because we love it. So the way that we write albums is every time we write an album, we're always adding new elements in. So each album, even though they all sound like Ingested, they don't sound the same. Like they all have their own individual character because we're always trying new stuff. We're always like adding little bits, little things like, oh, let's try this in this song, let's try that in this song. Like, do you know what I mean? So there's always just little bits that are just, it's like, say you've got a big toolbox. So we started our career with a toolbox that only had a sledgehammer in it. Right?
Yeah.
And then as the years have gone on and as we've wrote each album, we've added new tools into the toolbox. And now we're getting to a point where we've got an entire tool set. And we're getting to the point where we've nearly got a tool for every job.
I fucking love your analogies, mate. You're,
You know what I mean?
spot on with the way you describe things. It's great.
So yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're just building this toolbox. And every album we're just adding new tools in. And we're adding new sounds, new elements, new things that something that we might not have done for a few years. And then we've gone, oh shit, do you remember this tool? Excuse me, sorry, I've got a bit of a chest infection at the moment. But yeah, so that's how it is. Like we just constantly, I like to describe Ingested as like a musical shark because it always has to be moving in a direction, because if it stops or it tries to go backwards, it'll drown. We'll die because we'll get bored. Like we can't stagnate, we can't stop. So it's always got to be moving in a direction all the time. And yeah, and I think we're getting to a point where we're really becoming adept at writing these albums, because for us what's become very important for us when we're writing albums recently is like the story of the album. Not like the narrative, but I mean the journey that the album takes you on.
Yeah.
So for us now, it's very important for an album to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So there's a purpose, like there's an ebb and flow to like the actual album, like throughout the entire thing. Because what we used to do was we'd just be like, oh, let's just write 10 bangers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just a collection of songs, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? If you listen to like some of our old albums, it's just 10 songs. There's no coherent
No flow to it, yeah.
Yeah, there's no flow to it. So now it's like when we write an album, we're looking at the bigger picture of the actual album. So everything's very meticulous. The reason why the songs are the way that they are and that they're in the order that they're in is all by design, like on purpose, to create this ebb and flow, this journey that you take when you listen to the album's designed to be listened to in one go. You can listen to the song separately, obviously, but the purpose of it is to listen to it in one go. Like it's got a journey to it. I think that's probably one of the biggest changes to the way that we write albums now is that focus on the album being a complete work.
Very good. Now you mentioned before, mate, when you're talking about touring, that something about a global tour. So does that mean that you're gonna come over this side of the world and visit us?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we came. When did we came over last year for the first time ever.
How'd you go?
It was amazing. It was awesome. Like it was awesome. It was hard work because obviously you got to fly to every
Long
show,
way.
which is something we've never done before. Like usually it's like, you fly to America and then you're in a bus or a van or whatever, or an RV, and then you're driving around for a month. Or it's the same in Europe. You'll drive around the whole thing. Whereas Australia, obviously, because it's so big and everything's so like spread out, you have to fly from every show. Like, so we're flying literally in the morning, going to the show, playing the show, go to the airport, fly to the next show, do the same, and it's crazy because we've never experienced that before. So that was like, what the fuck? But it was awesome. Like the shows were amazing. I mean, it's took us nearly 18 years, 17 years to get there. So like all the fans were going crazy. It was awesome. So yeah, we're definitely looking at coming back to your area, your side of the world, like
Well
as soon
done.
as possible. So
Make sure you schedule yourself some days off in between shows this time, mate, and get to see the country while you're here.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. I got to see some kangaroos, so that was cool.
Very good, mate. All right. Well, the album, The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams, is out in early April. And from what I've heard of it, mate, everything you've said about it is spot on, mate. It's a brutal slab of fucking chaos. So well done.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No
Really
worries.
proud of the album.
You should be, mate. You should be. I'll keep an eye out for it when you do make it back over to Australia. I'll come down and have a beer.
Yeah, please do, man. Please do. That'd be ace.
All right, my man. You have yourself a good day.
All right. Thank you for the chat. I appreciate you.